Today's special guest is Mr. Kevin West from Traveling, TravellingWests, Wests. He's one half of a dynamic duo. Welcome to the program.
Well, thank you, brother, for having me on. My better half is Tranice West, and she is really the force behind our channel. She started it and she's kind of maintained it. I'm just kind of the support piece. I get a chance to make a cameo appearance every once in a while. And I'm just grateful that she's found something that she enjoys, that she loves to do. And she's trying to bring good content to the rest of the world on being senior, mature, but feeling young and able to travel while we can.
I'm happy you mentioned that the being able piece, because for Black men, a lot of times when we get to whatever age we can finally stop working as much, we may not last as long to have the opportunity to go travel and visit different places and maybe even consider a different lifestyle. So happy to have met you both just walking around, and I watched quite a few of the videos. I would say 4, but you've been doing this for a few years now. So
yeah, originally we started the channel simply as a mechanism of letting our family back in the Midwest and the South know, hey, we're okay. You know, wherever we were at, we would put pictures up. This is where we're at. This is what's going on, so they can get a chance to experience and see that we were okay. Because, you know, our family was, hey, y'all crazy.
yeah,
You know, why are y'all going out of the country? Why are y'all doing this? You don't necessarily have that everyone in agreement with what you want to do. But we have reached a point in our lives where our kids had finished school, grown. One had gotten married, is married, had moved away. We were in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area.
okay,
And so at that point, the last one had finished school, and he ended up taking a job outside of the state. He went west.
okay,
And so we were like, you ain't coming back. We really don't need to stay in Northern Virginia,
right,
in the DMV area. Let's relocate out to the coast. And so that's what we did. We ended up going to the coast, downsized.
okay,
And that there's a whole planning process. I tell people, once you hit 50 and once your kids become freshmen in high school, you need to start thinking of downsizing. Do I need to do what I've got? If that's where you're at in your life, you need to worry about that stuff. We did. We had to figure that piece out. We downsized and found a small condo, and it's easy now. I don't worry about grass, maintenance, all that other stuff. We turn the water off, lock the door, and we go.
right.
And so our goal is to be gone in the Hampton Roads area about 6 months out of the year.
Okay.
And then do the other 6 months traveling, seeing some part of the world, whether that's Mexico, somewhere else in Central America, Europe. Last year we had a chance to see a few countries in Africa, West Africa, South Africa, and got a chance to see Thailand, Singapore. And so it was a busy 2024.
I see.
And so we decided 2025, whoa, we're not as young as we thought we were. We're gonna slow it down, and we're still gonna get out and do the 6 months, but we won't move as fast.
Sure. In the process of downsizing, I'm assuming you also did some either letting go or bequeathing, donating to family members, or
yeah, that whole process, man. We realized what we thought was of value really wasn't of value to many people. I tell the story. I had a big screen TV, but it was with the tube still. And,
Big back?
yeah, and you know, it stuck out, and I couldn't give it away.
No, that's a headache.
I couldn't give it away. It was TV probably wasn't no more than 4 or 5 years old, but I couldn't even give it away.
Yeah.
And so eventually, I tried to donate it, and you know, places like the Goodwill, Salvation Army, they're like, "No, we don't want that." And I was like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
So it ended up going to the landfill.
Yeah.
But other stuff, you try to do the sales, and that's why I would tell people if you're preparing to downsize, depending on what you got, and we at that time we were coming up on 30 years of marriage, so we had a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And you don't realize, you go to the store and you bring one piece in, and over the years, those one pieces, you look around, you're like, man, I got a bunch of stuff.
I need storage almost.
Yeah, storage.
Yeah.
We had bought the storage shed for the house that we were in, because we needed storage, because we couldn't get the cars in the garage.
Yeah.
And so we finally realized, man, we got too much stuff. So slowly but surely, over about 6 to 8 months,
Okay.
we started selling, donating, and a lot of it was giveaway. You know,
Sure.
we see a young couple, they looking on Facebook Marketplace, they just getting started, and they show up and they say, "Hey, we need a sofa." And I see this dude, he got a little hatchback.
Right.
And it brings back memories. I was like, yeah, I remember riding down Georgetown in Washington, D.C. with a king-size mattress on the back of my Honda Escort.
Okay.
Tied down, riding through the city, can't hardly see. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy.
King size?
King size. It's hanging off the roof, the rails and everything out the back of the hatchback.
Yeah.
I knew for sure I was gonna get stopped.
It sounds like you probably should have been.
I should have been.
But you donated to younger couples that are just starting out.
Yeah, younger couples. We like, hey man, here, take this. Y'all go. Y'all do what y'all need to do. Here's a dining room set. Look, eat-in kitchen table, dinette. Take this, man.
Okay.
Y'all just starting out.
Is there a process after you got to the point where you're comfortable with being able to move to a smaller place, or maybe you had already started before you moved to the condo? Is there a process in deciding where to visit? Is there a
different places
approach?
to go?
Yeah. How do you choose which countries? You mentioned going to a couple countries in Africa and Latin America and Europe. Is there anything that you're looking for specifically when you're traveling?
Yeah, one of the decisions is always cost based.
Okay.
And we're looking to go on to see where we can get the best deal for the flight, and then the cost of living, the hotel or Airbnb costs once we get there. Those are kind of driving factors. Weather, if you can get it on a shoulder season, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We'll do a combination of cruise on sea by sea and land adventures, if you will.
Okay.
So we're not tied into either one of the particular, but our thing is, let's go see what we can. For example, last year, early 2024, we took a repositioning cruise out of Fort Lauderdale to...
What does that mean, repositioning?
Repositioning cruise is cruise lines every year will pull their cruise ships back towards the Americas, the Caribbean. They'll pull their cruise ships back from Europe and set them back over into the Caribbean to support more people from the Americas, Canada, US specifically. They want to go to Mexico, the Caribbean islands, some in South America. So when spring starts, they realize they've got a new market. They have another market with the European there. So they will just do a repositioning cruise where we left out of Fort Lauderdale, 12 days across the Atlantic. We had 2 stops scheduled. One was Gibraltar, and the other one was Alicante, Spain.
Okay.
And then we were going to pull into Civita, Italy, which is near Rome. And so we did that whole thing, man. For both of us going across was maybe $1,200 interior cap.
Okay.
But our food was covered, our housing was covered.
Like $100 a day, $1,200 for 12 days.
Yeah, for 2 people.
Yeah, that's $50 per person per day. Yeah.
So we were like, okay, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
So you can look for those repositioning cruises. Now in the fall, towards November, December timeframe, they do it in reverse.
Sure.
They're bringing it back from Europe back to the Americas, and then they'll run through here. But we also learned on that cruise, man, just talking to some older people. It was more mature cruisers.
Sure.
Because you're on for 12 days. There wasn't that many kids because they would have been in school. But we saw people, man, that were all about, man, y'all look like you're too young to be out here.
You look like you're too young?
Yeah, they were telling us, hey, y'all look like y'all too young to be doing this. And we like, yeah, but we've been on enough cruises where we've seen the guy in the pusher or the wheelchair barely able to get around because they've grinded and they've done so many other things. Their health now won't allow them to kind of move freely. 2 points on that would help. I used to be in the military, and when I retired in 2014, one of the guys told me, he said, look, most guys that retire from the military will die within 3 years. He said, because we grind, we go, we get the high stress level, then all of a sudden it's boom.
Yeah.
And he said it's totally opposite, and people just don't handle it well. He said if you make it through year 1, your percentage of not dying increases. Year 2, you got a higher percentage. Year 3, you're probably gonna be able to get to your full retirement. And he was sharing that with me. He's like, you've worked all this time for your retirement. Keep yourself together.
Yeah.
Stay healthy. Do the right things that you need to do to stay healthy. Don't give away your retirement, your Social Security, all those other things that you have to do to be able to go out and enjoy life. And so that became like a motivating factor for us to walk. So we're into now 5 days a week. Start the day with 5 miles. And goal is I want to be somewhere between 14 to 16 to 20,000 steps a day.
Okay.
5 days a week. And I started there. And then, I do a little trot when I can.
Yeah.
And just to get the heart rate up.
Yeah.
And that has helped. And then doing intermittent fasting.
Oh, that's perfect.
We found, if I can usually not eat before 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I'm pretty good. I'm still working on the back end of it, because especially if I'm at home back in Hampton Roads, it's easy to sit in front of TV, you hear all the crazy news, and you're eating chips, ice cream, and all this other stuff. And before you know it, you're like, oh, man, I blew it. It's 9 o'clock. But the one habit is walk first in the morning, get up, get a little sweat, clear your mind. And for me, what I like to do with my walk, I put my headphones on.
Okay.
And I don't want to hear any news or anything about self-improvement. I like gospel music.
Okay.
And so Pandora, and I'm just listening to gospel music for almost an hour and a half, 2 hours straight, depending on how far I walk.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy that music, that time. As I'm walking, I'm clearing my mind, I'm thinking about other things.
It's like a meditation, so to speak.
It is, and I get a chance to, it's a different type of way of prayer.
Right.
Because I can walk and I'm praying. My children come across my mind. I'm praying for them. I got friends I'm praying for. My other family members I'm praying for.
Right on.
So it gives me a chance to really kind of make that connection with God. That be able to say, hey, I'm enjoying the music. I'm walking at the same time, and it always goes back to what a gentleman shared with me. He said, look, once you make it to retirement age, it's not over. You got to make sure you stay healthy.
Right.
And you keep your mind in a space where you're still good and you can do that thing.
That's great. The points, the 2 habits that you were referring to, the walking, basically exercise, making sure that your mobility is, you still have function, because that sitting, it's so easy to sit. Like if you have a lazy boy, that's probably the first thing you need to get rid of.
Yeah.
Because it feels good. You think it feels good, but your range of motion starts to shrink because you're sitting, your legs are perfectly bent, and then when you straighten them out, it hurts, and then when you bend them all the way back, it hurts.
It hurts.
And I'm not even that old, but I can see it when I see other people, or if I sit too long, I have the same thing. So like that working out and moving is something I can really relate to, and the intermittent fasting. At least having it in your mind. The most important part for me is, from a fasting perspective, is I have to make the decision first. If I can force myself to do it, but if I haven't made that decision, it's hard. Yeah. Once I make the decision and I start fasting, it's almost like, why should I even stop? Except for the fact that I want to taste something. My body doesn't feel like it's severely deprived.
Right. And I tell people it's not necessarily a look at it as fasting, but when they say a lifestyle change,
right?
It really is a lifestyle change. So I can sit down and some of my buddies or someone in my fraternity, we may have a special event and they're offering breakfast. And I'm still able to be social and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna enjoy an American style breakfast today. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I don't make that the routine anymore.
Right. You have the discipline to be social.
Yes.
But then to get back to your routine.
Yeah. And it is it's one of those things where I tell people, I say, man, you start out hungry. But, if you're used to eating it at 7 a.m., push yourself to 7:30.
Right.
Then, okay, let me push myself to 8. Let me try to push myself to 9. Drink some water.
Right.
If you really start feeling it, get your little caffeine or some juice or something to keep you going, and then push on for another hour. And then when you reach a point where you're like, oh man, after a while, where you were used to eating at 7, you're gonna be like, I don't want anything to eat.
My body doesn't even need it. Yeah. I got to the point where I got to 12.
Yeah.
Basically doing exactly what you're saying, because I was so used to having breakfast basically my entire life.
Yeah.
I would have breakfast before going to school, at home. Then when I left home, I would have something. If it was oatmeal, fruit, it was always something. And it wasn't until maybe the last 7 years, but I was still eating breakfast, but it started to get to a point where I was skipping. And now I'm at the point now where I almost rarely have
need it. Yeah.
breakfast before 9 or something like that.
Yeah. we're at a point now. We'll do normally one American style breakfast a week.
Explain to us what an American style breakfast. You're here. Please tell me, what do you think? Leave a comment. I'm interested in knowing. Your opinion matters. Let me know. And since you're here, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share with somebody you know. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you back. Now back to your program. Explain to us what an American style breakfast is in relation to breakfast outside of America, because most of my viewers are probably going to know what an American style breakfast is.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't know that this isn't always normal outside, you know. So we're almost kind of doing something that nobody in the world else in the world is doing every day.
Yeah, you're right. Cause see, let me take it around the corner to explain how I got there. So part of my military experience, I got a chance to be stationed in Italy.
Okay.
For 3 years. The Italians taught me slow down. They do riposa normally in the Latin American countries. They're doing siesta.
Slow down.
Slow down. They didn't have all that stress.
Yeah.
They went to the market every day, every other day. And I'll never forget my landlord, because I lived on the economy. I lived out with the Italian people. And I was coming back from the commissary or the grocery store on base. And I had all this food. I mean, I had 20 bags of food. And my landlord had just popped in because I needed him to fix something. He was like, "What is going on? You trying to feed the army?" And I was like, "No, I just went grocery shopping." But I had been conditioned growing up. Grew up in the Midwest, Indiana.
Yep.
And I knew when we shop, we went big.
Yeah.
You know, we go get a lot of stuff, put it in deep freezers and all the other good stuff. So we always had an American style breakfast. You had the bacon, sausages, eggs, biscuits, pancakes, whatever, fried apples, fried just, and you know, I even remember as a younger kid, fried fish. And it's good.
Right.
You know, my aunties would throw down on that fried fish. And
You have a fish fry is almost like a family gathering. We really don't get to I don't know. I'm from the Midwest too. I don't know how your family was, but if we're getting together, it's gonna be around something.
Yes.
Taco sale, fish fry, barbecue, a game. So yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the way we would flow. And my mother, bless her heart, she's 93.
That's what's up.
Yeah, she's 93.
So you got the genes. I got another 40.
I'm trying to, man.
50.
You know, I told wife at first, she thought I was crazy. I said, well, you know, my prayer right now to God is, hey man, let me make it over the century mark.
Right on.
In good health.
Yeah. She 93.
I said, let me make it over the century mark in good health and be able to, and you know, she, bless her heart, still able to live by herself. Still able to cook her own food, take care of herself, pay her own bills.
That's a blessing.
She doesn't drive, but she's never driven before.
Right.
But can tell you everywhere how to get to, you know, every store, every place.
So the memory is intact. She must not have had a whole lot of sugar in her life.
Maybe
sugar,
not.
I think sugar is supposed to be one of the driving factors in dementia and maybe Alzheimer's. So don't quote me on that, but it sounds like when we think about diabetes in our organs, it also well, the brain is an organ, but it also happens in the brain as well. So,
well, we've been fortunate. She doesn't have diabetes.
That's what's up.
Her kidneys are working.
Right on.
Heart is good. Her blood pressure sometimes is a little off.
Okay.
And they gave her some medicine. And you know, at 93, she don't have a filter though no more. She like, a doctor don't know what they talking about. I ain't taking all this medicine.
Okay.
And so I have to like, well, Mom, you gotta do certain things.
Yeah.
You know, take care. And but she's like, I know what I need to do And if I take something and my body reacts a certain way, I know that's not good. It didn't really necessarily help me.
That's an amazing point that I try to drive home. The awareness of listening to your body.
Yeah.
I think every day, let's get back to the difference in the standard American breakfast and the breakfast out. You were talking about Italy, but on the same topic, when we eat, a lot of times in the States, we can feel we're full, and we don't listen to the body and say, hey, I need to stop eating. We want to either finish what's on the plate, or we want to just have the flavor. You may not even want to have it in your body, but you just want that flavor on your tongue for some reason, or the crunch. So I can relate, but your mom saying, I know how I feel.
Right.
And this is having an adverse reaction, even though it's fixing something over here.
Yeah, it's causing another problem over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's something I picked up from her. I listen. And, even now with my health, I kind of try to do that. But as you were talking about the difference between American breakfast and the Italians. So Italians are basically a cup of cappuccino or an espresso in the morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and a Danish or a brioche in Italian. And that would take them. Now, from 11:30, 12 o'clock, their day is done, or their morning is done, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And kids are coming home. They gather as a family unit, enjoy a meal, enjoy lunch. The kids.
You said 11:30, 12 o'clock, like in the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
The kids are coming home from school?
Yeah, so the kids in Italy were only going to school from like 8 to 12 to 1 o'clock. Especially the elementary, primary kids.
Okay.
But they had to go on Saturday.
So like let's say 6th grade. It's still kind of elementary, not high school.
They're done.
A 6th grader is done at like 1.
Yeah. So they're coming home as a family unit. Mom and dad are home.
So y'all off work.
Everybody's
at 1 o'clock.
So if you're in Italy, at least in I call the true Italian communities.
Yeah.
You got gas stations may be closed. Certain stores may be closed. Banks will be closed. We had to adjust our thinking, and we knew, okay, if I needed to do something at the bank, I got to do it between the hours of 9 and 12. Now I can get back over there at 4 to 6, but from 12 to 4, I can't do any interaction with the person inside the bank. It's closed.
Right.
If I needed gas for our vehicle, I had to make sure I did it in the morning or in the late afternoon, or I had to travel out onto the main superhighway where those stations are open 24/7.
Okay.
To get it.
Okay.
Now, where I was stationed at, there were enough Italians to understand we got a big American population here, a lot of soldiers.
Yeah.
And we gotta stay open because we're gonna adapt to the American lifestyle so they can come in for lunch.
Okay.
And they understand from a business standpoint that was smart. We had to learn that you don't go out to dinner before 5 o'clock. You may just want to go grab a pizza. The restaurants wouldn't even be open, and if they were open, they wasn't prepared to serve you.
So what was going on between 1 and 5?
This is their time to be together as a family union.
To actually have family time. And
have family time. Somebody's cooking in the house, how the kids are doing. If you wanted, kids had homework, mom and dad is there to help with that. Most likely the grandparents are still in the home. They got a chance to spend all that. But
so the daycare and after school programs aren't raising the Italian children.
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. Now the Americans, that were there, they did have, because we were still on access to the American base,
Right.
American school system. My kids were in the American school system, Dodea. They did have after school programs. They were really good, excellent, really, for those kids that wanted to after school, because a lot of times we would still be at work. When we first got there, of course, I was working, and my wife is an educator, so she started substitute teaching in the school system for Dodea, and then went on and did a little bit more after that. But for the most part, that's really the Italians. You gotta kind of think of it 12 to 4. You're not getting a lot of business done.
Sure.
The negative part to that is that you try to get your internet on, the money. You may have to wait a few days to get your internet on.
Okay.
You're trying to pay a bill, it may not go as quick as you think. You may have to wait a few days.
So when you took that assignment in Italy, did that kind of also kickstart, or maybe did it remove any barriers from the idea of? It must have removed the barrier from the idea of living somewhere else, because you had to live somewhere else. But from actually trying to go and visit places that you've never been, did it break down any other barriers? Because I think some people who are apprehensive about going to another country, especially if it's been advertised as dangerous, but in relation to maybe even the same block that you live on, there could be equivalent danger, but it's somehow a barrier that's there. I think it sounds like your experience.
It did. While we were in Italy, I was assigned to a great command, and it was really focused in on taking care of soldiers and their families.
Okay.
Even though my assignment was the continent of Africa,
Okay.
they allowed me to bring my family, and we were in Italy. So when I'm in Europe, I'm in Italy, we have seen probably 2/3 of Western Europe. I mean, everything from Ireland, Spain, UK, France, Portugal. We've seen
Scandinavia.
did not do
Sweden,
much
Denmark.
we did Sweden, I think. I think we went to Sweden. There's another country, I can't think of it right now, that we ended up visiting.
Probably went to Switzerland. It's right next door.
We did. We made Switzerland quick because Switzerland is expensive. Yeah, we came through there and we saw some of those prices.
Yeah.
I mean, I think McDonald's in Switzerland hit us up for like $35
Per person or for a family
for
of?
a family of 4.
Okay. At that time.
Yeah,
okay.
This was somewhere around 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got.
Yeah. And the portion control too. You had mentioned on the breakfast it's just a couple cappuccinos, maybe some bread. So their portion
It's different.
is completely different. Whereas whatever you had in your grocery bags might have been bacon,
Eggs,
2 dozen eggs,
3
and,
biscuits.
yeah, whatever.
Jam.
Yep.
You got so many different things that you are, that you're accustomed to eating.
Right. What about the quality of food? Like, for example, if you're having the same thing, but did your body respond different to food over there?
We lost weight when we are eating outside the U.S. Not with just the walking and the intermittent fasting, but we lose weight because the quality is different. My wife would say it all the time. She's like, "Man, I lose weight when I'm not here.
Yeah.
When I come back to the U.S., even though I'm trying to eat healthy and the salads and all this other stuff, I'm gaining weight.
Yeah. So traveling, even in itself, is a healthy habit.
It's a healthy habit. I mean, not just from the mental part, but from the physical. You know, you get out and you get a chance to walk. We realize that wherever we're staying, we try to make that routine. Get up, walk. Get up, you know, do some resistance training.
Yep.
So if we're on a ship, as soon as we get on, drop your stuff, where's the gym at?
Okay.
That's usually the first thing. We go visit the little gym, and you know, we go down and do the gym. If the ship has a track, you know, we're looking at the track. We learned it from a YouTuber. He was on a cruise, and he set a goal where his thing was, I'm trying to get to 15,000 steps in 2 hours.
In 2 hours?
2 hours. So he's moving, you know, pretty good on the ship.
Was he doing treadmill, or was he saying like to actually walk around?
He was walking around the ship.
Okay. But some of these ships are huge though, too.
Yeah, they're huge.
Some of these ships, you can do it, and not even see the whole ship.
Yeah, and this guy, his thing was, and do that. He got into the intermittent fasting, and that's where we were like, okay, if you can do this and it's worked for you, let me try it.
Right on.
Let me go try this and see how it works for me. And so that was his thing. He said he would hit a certain weight and he couldn't move. And so instead of fasting up to maybe 12, he said, I'll take that to 5 p.m. and then just have a salad. And eat a small piece of chocolate.
So he went to more of a 1 meal a day and then a healthy meal on top of that. Not a 1 meal a day and then it's going to be red meat and French fries. And
all the carbs.
Ice cream at the end.
Stuff like that. He said it, and he said every time he did it, his weight would finally move. Okay. And then his body was like, okay, give up this weight. So we hit a certain weight and trying to make that next milestone. He said, just extend it by 5 hours. And see what happens. He said, see if your body will let that weight go. And, you know, of course, keep enough fluids in you. Keep yourself hydrated as you're doing it. Make sure that if you're on meds, make sure you know how your body's going to respond. Things don't feel right, talk to your doctor and all that other stuff. We'll tell people. But for the most part, his story, I kind of adopted and it's worked for me. Right on.
Have you considered extended fasting beyond the, let's say you do regularly, let's say a 16-hour fast, depending on what time you stop eating at night, then you'll fast until noon the next day. So have you considered going beyond that, maybe 48 or 72 or 3 to 5 day fast or something like that?
I've considered it, but that's about all I've done. It's considered. I have not done it. I'm almost at a weight goal. A year ago, I was easily 45 pounds heavier.
So you just lost 45 pounds in the last year?
In the last year. And
congratulations.
Thank you. And my goal is get off the blood pressure meds. And come off of that. And then, you know, the cholesterol's looking better and all this other stuff. So when I came out of the Army, you know, blood pressure's bad, got sleep apnea, can't sleep well, PTSD, you know, got a slew of different issues health-wise. And, you know, I'm at a point now where I'm managing each one of them, and my intent is to reverse those items where I can. I don't want to slip into the diabetes. I don't want to slip into having to take cholesterol meds for the rest of my life, blood pressure meds for the rest of my life. And I would say for, especially your male viewers out there, and for your female viewers, that blood pressure meds does something to the man.
I understand.
And you gotta,
you can be real. This segment was proudly sponsored by Michelle O'Shea Premium Athleisure Apparel, designed for movement, confidence, and style. Whether you're at the gym, in the airport, or exploring a new city. From workouts to weekend getaways, Michelle O'Shea keeps you looking sharp, feeling comfortable wherever life takes you. Discover the collection at MichelleO'Shea.com. Thanks to Michelle O'Shea for supporting our program. You can be real.
Yeah, you messing around, you on that blood pressure meds, and you like, come on, man, you gotta work with me.
Right.
And you like, I ain't gotta do nothing.
Yeah.
But it's the meds that kicked in. As you say, you fix one thing and you break something else.
Right.
Now you gotta go back to the doctor and say, my man ain't doing what he's supposed to do.
Ain't standing at attention.
Yeah. And so at this point, now you on some more meds.
Right.
Trying to reverse that.
Treating a symptom. I'm happy you mentioned that. Thank you for sharing your real experience.
Yeah, because we realize that it's it can be. I'm here. I am in my early 60s, and I still like don't let the gray hair fool you, young lady.
Yeah.
I still got something for you.
Yeah.
So when I tell the wife that, she's like, yeah, I know you got something for me, all right.
Yeah.
I'm like, you going to sleep. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Say your gas ain't regular no more.
Yeah, you ain't kicking it like we were, on day 1, day 2, year 1, year 2, marriage. Life changes, and all that good stuff.
But I believe you can get back to it. I have faith in really more for longevity in life, but that's a part of life too.
Yeah.
So if you want to hit that century mark, keep at it, because I almost, even in my 30s, had the same experience where the doctor started prescribing me blood pressure medication. Mm-hmm. And I just, I resisted. I probably didn't take the immediate action that I needed to take based on what I know now, because now I'm doing all of the things that you mentioned, doing the healthy exercising, fasting, watching what I eat, having my environment as positive as possible. Yeah, all those things matter, and I hope you get to whatever weight goal and blood pressure goal.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, and I found another thing is that what's good about your channel is that you're sharing things that people have experienced. So as someone that has gone down that road, and someone that's on that road, you can kind of say, I need to make a change. I need to do something different. And one of my fraternity brothers tell me, he's like, man, I had to cut out red meat.
Yeah.
He said, I'll eat every blue moon, but he said, I cut out red meat and it brought my blood pressure down.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, that worked. He said, yeah, that worked. So for me, I limit my red meat, I limit my pork intake, I limit, those things that I'm thinking that are kicking it up. The big thing for me now is work on salt intake, sodium, stay away from the chips, the fries, the fried food, that type of stuff.
I adopted using cayenne pepper. There's about 4 seasonings I keep on deck, and I try to use them every day. It's cayenne pepper, turmeric, black pepper, and cinnamon. Yeah, I try to use those for every day, and the cayenne pepper is great for your blood pressure. And I didn't know it. I'm just kind of trusting it, but all the research that I've seen, I think they even sell cayenne pill, like supplements. So that's one thing that I think has been helping me. I know I'm seeing the results. I can't say that, it's just because of these one things, but you're talking about reducing salt intake. And you can't really replace salt with another seasoning or something like that. Like I can't replace salt with cayenne pepper, but at least having something that you know is going to help keep the vessels pliable, not harden them, and keep the blood flowing. Can't hurt, you know. And I try to eat a watermelon a week, one watermelon a week. I don't know if you have the opportunity to do that all year round, but it's something to consider.
I don't. I have the opportunity to eat it, but as a kid growing up, man, I ate. You know, we had one of those family reunions.
Yeah.
And I ate watermelon. And ate watermelon. And oh, this is so good. I got so sick.
Okay.
Not because of the watermelon, because I was a knucklehead, probably about 10, 11. And my parents trying to tell me, you don't need all that.
Right.
And I don't like it. It's good. It's good. Okay, I got so sick. I don't do watermelon or cantaloupe.
Okay. No melon.
I'm a pineapple fan.
All right.
Strawberry, blueberry, mango.
Well, all the berries are supposed to be great.
Yeah.
Antioxidants.
Yeah. So, you know, times now if I'm back at home, if I'm starting to get hungry, 11:30, I'll throw that in a blender, blend it up, put the turmeric in it, and a little MCT oil, and I've gotten into the fiber packets.
Okay. And
I dumped that little fiber packet over in, and that really will push me for about 2 hours, maybe 3. So my next meal, maybe somewhere around 2:30, 3 o'clock, is my main meal. And then I'm done, and I may do a snack or something later, just depending on what's going on. But the fruit with the MCT oil, the turmeric, and the fiber packet, those are the things that kind of make you feel full.
Sure.
And I would tell people, and not trying to gross anybody out, but check your float.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not floating, you're not getting enough fiber.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that means
you should be looking at what it looks like too.
Yeah.
Because you need to know if there's any signals, signs of what's going on. And maybe if you flush immediately, okay, 1 to 2 times, just take a look, and always look at your paper. Yeah. You know.
If you're seeing traces of blood or discoloration or something like that, and you're like, you need to go see a doctor.
And along with that, understanding whether or not your prostate is enlarging, or if you need to be cognizant of keeping it maintained. Right. You know. Yeah. And there's many different ways to do that. They don't have to be invasive, but that has a huge impact on your urine flow as well. Yeah. You know, getting up at night because you didn't empty your bladder, and you're not getting sleep, not getting rest. You're trying to reduce your blood pressure, but you're not resting. You're getting up, going to the bathroom.
Yeah, and you know, there's exercises on YouTube and all that to help strengthen the pelvic floor. Last year I've kind of tried to incorporate that more into my walk. Give me 15 minutes of just working on strength and mobility and things of that nature. I tell people, sometimes, especially in the U.S., it's hard to be healthy because everybody got a price tag on it. Right. You know, you got to pay for that. What's good about your channel is you're like, hey man, I'm giving you good advice, free advice, things that you should consider, look at to make yourself healthy. And it's not costing you a dime.
A little bit of time. appreciate you mentioning that. Just a little bit of time.
Just a little bit of time.
And trying
to, you know, if you can take other folks' story and, you know you need to get your prostate checked. You need to check to make sure what you just dropped is normal.
Right.
You need to make sure your urine is a certain color. I tell people, hey, man, try to get to the doctor a minimum of once a year and try to do twice a year. You know, go get yourself checked out.
Hey, what you doing? Please don't let this video go off without hitting that like button. All right? Until next time, peace. Would you please tell us a little bit about Traveling West, your YouTube channel, and what viewers could expect to see if they were to look and subscribe?
Yeah, Traveling West is a more focusing on travel and retirement. We took the fire concept early on.
Okay.
A couple of our Rich Journey, the Yarboroughs, we started watching those guys and other YouTubers on how to travel once you hit a retirement. And don't think retirement has to be 60s. You know,
right.
It can be 50s. Try to get it in early. So our channel is focusing on that. And I have to admit now, Tranice is primarily the mainstay. She lets me make a guest appearance every once in a while.
Right on.
And I try to make sure I do my job. But I am a behind the scenes dude, and I do what I can to support her. But we travel on land and on sea.
Right on.
And again, we try to do about 6 months out of the year at our home base in Hampton Roads, Virginia. And the other 6 months, we look for cheap flights, cheap cruises, and then places that we can stay within budget in our retirement years.
Well, I appreciate you again. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I learned a few things about other areas, specifically the videos on Merida, Mexico, which I have not been to. And it's been a benefit for me and will be a benefit for the viewers to have you on. So
Well,
thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime, more than happy. Maybe next time I can get Tranice out and we'll do something through Zoom and she can share her experience, because she is the driving force behind the channel.
100%.
And thank God she just got monetized.
Okay.
And
Congrats.
so she is happy about that, and we're like, okay, let's see this thing take it up to the next level, and keep it going.
Right on. I'd love to have you both on, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
All right.